this shuh, wanting to have this money, because it did what? أَهْلَكَ مَنْ كَانَ قَبْلُكُمْ. It destroyed the people who went before you. It made them start fighting each other, and it made them start being in the race to see who can get the most. Leaving the deen, turning to the dunya is from the biggest reasons. Wallahu a'lam wa a'lam. The advice as it relates to the Somalian community, their large numbers, everyone knows in the dunya the problems and the mashakil facing the Somalian community for the last 15 or 20 years. Early 70s, beginning of the 80s, in the 70s, 60s, in the African countries, Somalia was one of those places that had some power, relatively speaking, had a future with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed that part of the world with in terms of livestock, bananas, and other than that. Now when we see Somalians are laji'een everywhere. I go to Toronto quite often, and when you go to Toronto you think you're in the capital of Somalia. No, you don't. Because of the way the Somalians are acting, the young people in Somalia, the way they act in Toronto. You don't think you're in Somalia. Anyway, the situation that took place and transpired with the Somalian community and the way of getting out of it is the same reason why Iraq, Palestine, Kashmir, Uzbekistan, and other than that, why those Muslims are in the same condition that they're in and how to get it off. And it goes back to the original statement that I made. And Imam Malik used to say, لا يصلح آخر هذه الأمة إلا بما صلح به أولها. The last of this ummah will not be rectified except with what was rectified the first of this ummah with. So into the Somalian community, go back to the book of Allah and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam according to the understanding of the companions. They want to suffer. Illa yasha Allah. Kashmir, Palestine, Iraq, the Muslim ummah, until we go back to our religion, we're going to suffer. And even though the Somalians are Somalians and you guys have your own unique situation, still, I don't think it's good to separate yourselves from us, because he told us sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم وتعاطفهم كمثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى منه سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى أو بالحمى والسهر. The Muslim body, their example is like the Muslims. Their example is like one body, one human being. Not multiple human beings, Somalian, Arab, this, that. It's one body. If one part of that body hurts, the rest of the body suffers from sleeplessness and from fever. So when the man has a toothache and it's hurting and he can't sleep, his other body doesn't say, oh, that's the head's problem. That's the problem with the tooth. We're going to forget about it. No. Every part of the body is going to suffer from what's taking place in his mouth. But that's not the case. Somalians have their situation going on, so the Muslims have forgotten the Somalians. Iraqis have their situation going on, and the Iraqis have their problems. Not only that, Ikhwani, but I made an observation I want to share with you. I made an observation about Somalians. I went to a Somalian restaurant yesterday, and we were eating, 4 of us. And we got a big plate, rice, spaghetti, pasta, chicken, meat, all of that. So we ate and we left some. And we were about to get up and leave, and we were going to leave that food there. I said to myself, wow, these brothers are Somalians now. I know they know the importance of food, because just where we come from, we should have learned that the food is a ni'mah. But we've come to this country and we can become desensitized to the reality of what's going on back at home. So if you didn't have any relatives back at home, you may not worry at all of what's going on. If you have a relative, he's going through something, maybe you worry, depending on what's going on. But being here, the luxury. Some of us are on welfare, but we're living in luxury. So it's easy for the Somalian to forget about his own people. How many Somalis in here have made dua to Allah Azza wa Jalla consistently in the last third of the night, crying to Allah to change the situation? Wallahi, dua alone can change the situation. But the people don't make that dua for the most part. So we don't want to subtract the Somalian community, but as it relates to their unique experience, what is applicable to them is applicable to the rest of the ummah. Allah Azza wa Jalla has promised us He will give us the istikhlaf in the earth if we return back to our deen. Wallahu a'lam. Don't forget the young brothers, akhi. A lot of the young brothers, we love to see that they're here. We have to do more in terms of reaching out to the shabab so that they don't get lost in the wilderness of the UK. Start taking as heroes, hip-hoppers, and other than that. Another wants to know the difference between usury, riba, and rishwa. Rishwa, which is bribery, and dhulm, oppression. Between them is khusus and umum. Between the three, there is khusus and umum. All rishwa and all riba is dhulm. All riba and all rishwa is dhulm. They're all dhulm. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم. Oh, you believe, don't devour your monies between yourselves with what is wrong, except through tijara and you giving or taking money and the person is allowing you to do it. As it relates to riba is the most serious of these issues, and it is a kabira from the kaba'ir, bal it is from the akbar al-kaba'ir. Ijtanibu as-saba al-mubiqat. الشرك بالله والسحر وقتل النفس التي حرمها الله وأكل الربا وأكل مال اليتيم والتولي يوم الزحف وقذف المؤمنات المحسنات المؤمنات الغافلات. Stay away from the 7 things that will destroy you, the major sins. And he mentioned from them a riba. So it is out of these issues between rishwa and riba. Riba is the biggest. إن أبواب الربا 72 بابا أدناها كإتيان الرجل أمه في الإسلام. Riba is 72 branches. The lowest branch of riba is like a man having relations with his mother after he became a Muslim. So riba is the biggest one and is the most serious. And it's usury. And usury is, let me have this thing, the price is set, it's a particular price, but because I can't pay it all up front, you're going to charge me extra. That's riba. And like I said, 72 branches, different types of riba, different ways. Riba can be in money, riba can be in dates, riba can be in qamah, riba can be in so many other issues. As for rishwa is simply, hey, I need this to be done. I'll give you this, I'm going to grease your palm, and you give me what I want. He doesn't have any right. You shouldn't have to pay him. You should be equal to everyone else. You bring the proper ingredients, you get what you need. But he doesn't have all the proper ingredients. Or maybe he does have all of what he needs, but he wants some special treatment. Or that particular person makes you do it because he is not making enough money, or he has he's shahir. So there's a big difference between riba and the rishwa, and the riba is akbar wa a'zam indallahi ta'ala bila shak.
I've just got a question about welfare. Is there anything that you can say, brother, to sort of encourage us to take welfare, to stay away from welfare?
Concerning the welfare and the welfare system, if you have a right to take the welfare because you lived here and you used to work and then you got hurt and now you are being repaid for the money they took from you, and you have a right, you're a citizen, you can take the welfare. If you have come here and you have a justified right because there are no other resources, you are a refugee or something like that, it's permissible to take the welfare. No one is going to say it's haram to take the welfare. What I'm saying is, welfare, ikhwani, is against the spirit of al-Islam. Al-yad al-ulya khayru min al-yad al-sufla. The upper hand is better than the lower hand. Being the giver is better than being the receiver. We should teach our sons how to be men and how to stand up on their own feet and go out and work